Hey everybody, welcome back to another CSS tutorial. This is Mr. Rivera, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the body selector and how to change the background color. So there's an importance to the body selector. If we go ahead and go to our HTML file, you'll notice that we have our body tag, but look at everything that's inside. It's all of this right here. So you have an H1 tag, you have your A tags, your P tags, your image tag, and your H6. Now, if we go back to our CSS file and we do something like color as one of our rules, you're going to notice that it colors all our text tags right here. So we have our H1, our paragraph, and our H6 that actually get colored because they're all inside the body. Okay, and let's go ahead and see what happens if I use the H1 selector and I go ahead and I do color. What do you think is going to happen if I go ahead and type in, let's say, green? So some of you guys might think, well, you know what? The H1 tag is going to stay red because that came first. Or some of you might say, you know what? It's going to turn green because you're now being a little bit more specific and you're saying that H1 is going to kind of rule over body. So let's go ahead and do that. And there you go. So it actually changes color, and there's something important to learn here regarding this. So in CSS, there are different levels of being specific with your tags. So body is it's a little bit more broad, but the more specific you get, the more it overrides the broader selector. So in this case, you were more specific with H1, so it's going to override body's color. So the cool thing you could do with this is if you know you're going to have all your text a certain color, for example, and only, let's say, your H1 is going to be changing color, instead of writing an H1 selector, and a P selector, an H6 selector, and doing color, 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 red, 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 you could just put body color red and then just go ahead and change the H1 because it's more specific and it'll only target the H1. It won't mess around with anything else. Okay, so use the body selector, kind of create a baseline, kind of like your template for your website, and then change the specific tags as needed. And later on, we're going to learn how to get even more specific with things like classes, and there's even such a thing as an ID that only one tag could have a unique ID. So the next thing we're going to look at, and this is really quick, is how to change the background of your whole web page. So you could do one of two things. You could either do background or background color, and it'll do the exact same thing. So I do background color, and let's do red. There you go. It changes your whole web page red. And let me just show you that it will do the same thing with background. It's the exact same thing. Okay, and you can pick any color. And like I mentioned before, later on we're going to learn about RGB values. I'm just trying to make up a number here. It'll take RGB values, and it will even take hexadecimal values. Let's see. There you go. Okay, that's actually a really pretty color. I just guessed on that. But yeah, so there you go. You have your background color that you could set as well. Okay, so again, body selector, really important. It helps you create like a baseline for the entire website. And then you do have your background color property that you could modify the entire background. Okay, if you actually do that to an H1 or let's say a P tag, you could actually go ahead and it creates like a band that you could have for it as well. So go ahead and experiment with that, with the different colors, using the body tag, using background color, even for other selectors like the H1, the P tags, and see what it does and see how creative you could get with that. Okay, and there you have it. That's how to use the body selector to kind of create a baseline for your website, and also how to use the background color not only for body but for your different selectors as well, such as H1, P, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. You could go ahead and look at those, mess around with them, experiment with them, and see what kind of things you could create. All right, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask me in class. Until next time, see you guys later.